Just like the wide-winged dove that sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, ooh. Hey guys, so I just changed the lens in my camera back to the standard lens that it came with when I bought it. This is the first time I've switched to this lens in literally like 3 years, so we'll see how this holds up for this video. But today we're going to be reacting to JoJo Breaks Down Over Technique criticism, and this is from Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. It's a season 2 flashback. You guys have been asking me to react to Abby's Ultimate for over a year, so I figured today let's actually hop into it. But all that being said, if you're interested in this video, make sure to give it a great big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new here, and of course press the bell so that you always get a notification every single time that I post. And all that being said, let's hop right into this. So I hope all of you guys are doing super well at home, staying safe. We are officially out of hand soap and toilet paper, and there's none in the stores near our house, so that's good and fresh and also fun.
6, 7, 8. Sleeping with your eyes wide open. Do it again. Don't go early.
This week I have a duet with Kalani. I'm like the creepy old vampire. I love being evil and I love being mean.
JoJo, your character's great. I love your performance. You're a star. Kalani, I didn't see the attitude happen.
JoJo's a great performer, but Kalani is one of the best technique dancers here. JoJo's just isn't at the level Kalani is.
Ta-da! Penché. JoJo, didn't see the penché. Don't sacrifice your technique for the story. The skill is technique. So
okay, so I'm going to pause that right there. Right off the bat, when I first was introduced to JoJo, I saw that she was extremely overconfident. She's definitely incredibly competitive in nature. I think that's why, as such a young dancer, she was so fierce and so over the top. But it also helped her like get a leg up, and you can tell that her mom is super competitive. That's where I think all of this branding and marketing comes from, and the fact that JoJo's been wearing the bow and having the same kind of image since she was like 7 years old, and that's to make sure that she has a foot in the door and stays ahead of all of the competition branding and marketing wise. I'm not sure what kind of effect this is going to have on her psyche being like squished into a box for her entire life, but we'll see. But in terms of like her personality, I can tell that she's super competitive. I can tell that she's super confident, and that's why she has the career that she has today. But back when she was super young like this, I think she was maybe overconfident, and her mom was kind of all about having her be able to be good at least one thing, and then everything else kind of relied on her facial expressions and her over-the-top personality to sell everything. Meanwhile, Kalani is like a wholesome dancer who focuses on her technique, and then facial expressions come second. So I do think pairing them together is really good because they're such a high contrast that they're going to be able to work off of each other and challenge each other. But in terms of making a natural, cohesive pairing, definitely not. These are two totally different dancers.
You really pull up this week, or you will be... It's a battle. I love healthy competition.
The mission for JoJo is to...
Also, I'm going to pause here. Can we look at who's on screen right now? This is Tassandra Chavez. If you remember from Abby's Dance Moms, when Tassandra came in because Kira called her in to come teach a technique lesson, Abby's like, sorry, who are you? I don't know you at all. Meanwhile, she's like, I was on your television show, so if anyone looks like an idiot, it's you right now. Like, how can you bring somebody to be on your TV show that is named after you, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, and then be so ignorant that you're going to try and pretend like you don't even know them or recognize them? Meanwhile, that was your show. It's your name on that show, so if you don't remember people coming into work on that show, that makes you look ignorant, not Tassandra. She was just doing her job and doing what she was asked.
Work on her technique. Straighten those legs, work those feet. We're just really gonna have to have a talk about technique, technique, technique.
6 and 7. That was it, Kalani. Do it again. Keep going. She's got to save herself.
How was rehearsal today? Do you like being the vampire?
I really feel like I was doing my best.
We had rehearsal with Cassandra, and Cassandra was like, JoJo needs to worry about technique. Did you get what I was saying by like dance big, dance big?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta push it. You always gotta push it and push it and push it.
Everyone's been calling me out on my technique. Do I not have good technique?
JoJo,
You don't get how hard it is.
it doesn't look very hard to me.
My mom is telling me that I need to do better, which I am doing my best, but she just doesn't understand that it's...
Okay, that's so gaslighting to say to a child. It doesn't look very hard to me. Like, JoJo's literally 9 years old and she is at a dance competition that is being aired on national television. That is an insane amount of pressure for any 9-year-old. It doesn't matter what they're doing, whether they're dancing, whether they were swimming, whether they were just there to do a fun little cooking show. To put a 9-year-old on national television and put them in a competition show is an insane amount of pressure. So to gaslight your child and tell them it doesn't look difficult to me is so just ew. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, in terms of dance bigger, that's kind of bad advice to be giving JoJo right now because JoJo is naturally a huge over-the-top performer, even at 9 years old. Like, that is just JoJo's performing style. And what Cassandra wants is for her to show those refined movements in her technique. And dancing bigger is not the key to having more controlled technique. Dancing smarter and dancing place, like making sure that you really think about your next movement. That's how you're going to have technique. And this is the technique challenge. So yes, JoJo's always going to deliver 100% in terms of energy, but for this week I would have her focusing just on her technique. Even if she focuses on just technique all week long, the second she hits the stage, there's going to be that JoJo energy to her. But she really needs to focus on her technique because all of that over-the-top energy comes super natural to her. But I totally see where JoJo is coming from. Even at 9 years old, even if you're 20, even if you're at 30 years old, if you're on a national dance competition that you know is going to be aired on television, it is a lot of pressure. And as JoJo was saying, you don't know how hard it is. Like, sure, Jessa has been a dancer before, but I've never seen Jess in any TV performances, and I've never seen her working under the kind of pressure that JoJo has to work under on a daily basis since this show aired. Cut the kid some slack, and for a 9-year-old, I think her technique is great. It's just that is what her weakness is as a dancer. That doesn't mean that she has poor technique. It means she's an incredible dancer, but all of the other parts of her dancing are great, so technique is what she needs to focus on.
I am doing my best, but she just doesn't understand that it's hard and there's pressure on me and there's only so much that I can do. And I'm sick of it, to be honest with you, I am.
JoJo's dancing alongside of Kalani, who is known for her technique. If JoJo messes up, the judges will be sending her home.
Up next, we have Kalani and JoJo.
Go, girl.
Go girls, in character.
And that's what I think. It's more of the fact that Jesselyn is intimidated sitting there watching Kalani's technique, so it makes her squirm and makes her uncomfortable, and then she puts all of that pressure on her daughter. And yes, I get it, it's a competition game show, but at the end of the day, this is a 9-year-old. Just encourage your child, let them do the best that they can possibly do, and if they don't win, they don't win. It's not a big deal. Okay, first off, if they're going to make the point that JoJo didn't hit the ponche in the rehearsal, why would they use the camera shot to zoom in so you can't even see JoJo's ponche when she hits it anyways? Just, like, it just doesn't make sense editing-wise why they would set that up for the story if they're not even going to show it in the final performance. But that being said, I'm kind of a little bit confused why this is their technique challenge. This is a commercial jazz number, so for them to be scoring their technique based off of this is going to be a little bit difficult. All I see is body movement so far. They both had a ponche in this number, but there's not much to judge their technique by because there's no technical steps.
Let's hear it for JoJo and Kalani. Hey, relax.
Okay, before we get into the judges' critiques, yeah, I'm super confused. This was not a technical number at all, or at least from what we've seen in this clip, there was a lot of body movement. I think that JoJo, like I said, delivered 100% energy. She's super over the top, just as we would expect. I guess that we could see Kalani's flexibility. We could see Kalani's nice lines in that ponche, and then she did a back bend at the end, but there's really not much technique to judge them on based off of this. I would say their performance is great, but yeah, great penché for Kalani. Can't even see JoJo's, so I can't say much for that, but...
You can scare Richie, but you're not going to scare me.
Kalani, it is absolutely killing me to say this. I thought that you would come out here and look like a prima ballerina. That's not what happened. You stepped down to her level. When you did the tilt and the drop down, her leg was just as high, if not higher. You fell out of the turns. All right, JoJo, you did a needle. You flexed your foot, bent your knee, and brought it
Hey,
down.
are we looking at the same number at all? Like, how... Why would Kalani come out there looking like a prima ballerina for a commercial jazz number? This is supposed to be fierce and over the top, even if... Yeah, even for a technique challenge. Like, if she came out there dancing with her technique of a ballet dancer, it would be way too timid and just wouldn't make any sense.
Brought it down to step on that bench. My eyes are bleeding. Go ahead, you heard what I had to say.
Ooh. So let me start with you, JoJo. You're either too fast or too slow.
See, like, it showed in those edits, the technique, and we could see the penché then. Like, why didn't they use those long shots while we were watching the performance instead of just for their critique?
To JoJo. You're either too fast or too slow. In most points, you were behind her. You've got to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Bottom two.
You've done this to yourself. You rush things. There was a hand moment downstage that you guys do there, rushed. When you guys were on the floor and the leg kicked up, rushed. You are better than that.
Kalani, we need to work on your control. When the leg goes up, you have to control it on the way down. It doesn't just hit and then
Okay,
drop.
so I've got to say, again, they edited this so that it looked like a beautiful performance and that we only got to see the clean parts until the end here when they're going back and doing these little edits. But I've got to say, JoJo does have a habit of being like half a count behind when it comes to dancing with partners. That being said, when it comes to Kalani, when you're usually like having a tendency to rush things, I know from my personal experience that it's usually because you are trying to overthink things and you're super worried about forgetting the choreography. So in your head, you have like every single step wrote out in your brain and you're like, okay, I do this and then this and then this and then this and then this. And then you're so focused on the choreography that you're not really in the music. And so you don't really feel the music to make sure that everything is completely on beat with the music. And then you end up rushing a little bit. That's what I think is going on in this number, since Kalani has to be the leader in this number. But again, like what Rochelle was saying, I would say that Kalani has beautiful extension. But yeah, at this age, it's just a matter of matching her control with her flexibility, because she has beautiful flexibility, but not as much control at this point. But yeah, when you have an extension all the way up by your ear, obviously you would like to slowly control it down to the floor.
JoJo, I think you have to work on some more strength. You need to wow me with some jumps because you're not getting up off the ground enough for me.
It's true.
Okay?
Oh, none of them liked it.
We're only down to 5. So you can either fight to stay here, or you can just slowly just disappear like 2 ghosts, because I didn't see you at all.
Thank you, judges. Let's hear it one more time for JoJo and Kalani.
We didn't get good feedback, so I hope that there's no chance that JoJo and I are going home today. Good luck to everyone else.
To everyone else. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I would say from that little clip that we did see that they did a great job. It was super over the top. There wasn't a lot to judge them on in terms of technique until they showed those clips at the end, but I thought that they did a great job nonetheless. I would say that in terms of strength, JoJo is actually a really strong dancer in my opinion, but when it comes to leaps, she does need to use her plie, because that is, I guess, one of her biggest technical flaws is she doesn't get down in her plie in any of her steps. It doesn't really matter what she's doing. That would be the biggest correction that I would have for JoJo, is to really use your plie. She has really, really strong controlled turns, so she can do like 7 rotations of a pencil turn, but they're just like really rigid and tense and strong. And so I would say if you really, really use your plie, then you don't have to hold so hard during your turns. You can just naturally engage your core, release some of that tension, because the power came from your plie, not from holding yourself really still so that you don't fall over. But I would say, yeah, that definitely is going to apply for the leaps as well. If you really get into that plie, you're going to have so much power. And overall, I would say that Kalani did a great job here. I would like to see more from her face. That's one of my biggest corrections for Kalani most of the time, is I would just like to see more performance from her. She obviously has like the most beautiful technique that I've seen. She's one of the best technical dancers we've ever seen on reality television, that's for sure. But let me know what you guys thought of this clip, and let me know what you guys thought of Kalani and JoJo down in the comments below. And if you would like me to react to more Abby's Ultimate Dance competition clips, definitely let me know down in the comments below. This is the first one I've reacted to, like I said, but if you guys liked it, make sure to give this video a great big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to join the constellation, and everybody stay safe at home. And as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!